Okay guys, in this video I am going to do every graffiti art letter. Let's see how I do and how quickly I can do it. I'm working off of two fonts that I found on the internet. I just googled graffiti art alphabet. This one I think is in your packet, and this video is just to help kids feel more confident with drawing graffiti art letters, and I'm going to try to combine them. As far as materials, I have markers and I have a pencil. And let's just get to it. I don't have an eraser, but I recommend an eraser. Okay, so A. So when you're doing a letter, it's really important you start with a box, no ruler, and I'm just making a light box. Okay? All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shave the A out, right? So normally I would do a straight line, but I'm just going to shave it with more of a curve and maybe cut off the top at more of an angle. So this is going to be my A, right? So I'm cutting off the corners. Maybe I'm going to give it more of a curve. And I'm just basically chipping away. I'm trying not to make them too fancy. But based on what I'm seeing, I'm just kind of cutting off angles, right? So you can like start by drawing like a basic A, you know? And then you can, with a really light line weight, notice how I'm kind of like doing tripod grip, really light, start to curve it and make it more fancy. And you can stop whenever you want, but maybe I want to pull this out and have a little bit more fun with that A. Okay, and then you would take a Sharpie and you would start to pull in the different line weights, or a pen. I kind of recommend a black pen so we can work in some shading techniques. Okay, let's see. Okay, or you could use a Sharpie, but then I can start to put in these angles real lightly. Oh, I don't know if I like that angle. Okay. Now let's say you want to go fancy with the whole thing, right? So over here in the middle of my paper, I'm going to put a vanishing point. You could put yours anywhere. And then maybe you want to use the vanishing point to kind of figure out shadows. Now, that might be too much, so you might want to skip that part. But I can go ahead and with my pencil do a bunch of lines that are going towards the vanishing point. Again, this might be something you want to skip. So it's like 1 point graffiti art. This line is parallel with this line. And then you're bringing in these shadows. Maybe this line is parallel with that line. Again, you don't have to do this. This line would be parallel, 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 parallel. Okay, you could just stop there. But you can always bring in a shadow, putting in some hatches. Okay, let's go for B. So step 1, do a box. Okay, step 2, we're going to let's start by carving it out so it's all simple. So I'm in the box, and then it's like, let's first start by like making a simple B. So you're going to curve to the end, know that you're going to here, and then know that you're going to here, right? So it's like you're figuring out the middle. Curve out, and then curve down. So I'm thinking more in angles and less in curves with this kind of style. And you think of drawing as sculpting, so I'm curving out the corner. Okay, and then maybe you want to drop in some bigger angles, right? And then you got your B. One thing to point out is you want to make sure that this and this, they're all the exact same amount of like thickness, right? So I can clarify with a Sharpie. And maybe before I add the Sharpie, I want to stay consistent and maybe extend the line. Right, maybe I want to make some stronger choices with some darker values. Maybe this is going to be curved where this is going to be angled. Right, and then you go in and you darken things up. And you just make bold choices about your angles with graffiti art. Right, I'm kind of hesitating a little with my line work. Right, you don't want to do that. This line should kind of be going in that angle. Okay, and then curve, curve. So notice how I'm just going all the way to the end of the box. Curve, curve, curve. All right, I don't know if we'll go fancy with this one. We'll see how we're doing on time. Actually, no, I feel like I need to. So if you want to go fancy or add a shadow, you could pick one side to put in that drop angle. And again, I'm going towards this point. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I want it to be at the same angle as it's black. Maybe I'm going to drop in some hatching, and I can fix that later with a pen. Okay, move on to C. Okay, step 1, do a light box. Okay, step 2, you're going to kind of figure out like your points, your reference points of where you're going. So you're kind of like making a map in the box. Right, going around, dot. So I know I'm going from here, and I know the end of my C is going to be there. So I'm kind of like dropping in some points. I'm deciding how thick I want it to be. Right, so notice how I'm moving around the box, planning my path for the letter, and then trying to stay consistent with all of this, like similar visual shapes. I'm going to have these bigger angles. Maybe I want to add these fancy lines, but not too much. I don't want it to look like a G. Oops, went in there. Didn't mean to do that. I'm not working with an eraser right now, simply because I don't have one. But also to show you guys to not be so afraid, you know? Like it should feel very sketchy. All right, maybe I'll do the pen this time. Okay, and then when you're putting in your ink, you have like a big angle. Maybe I'll use the Sharpie for a bigger choice. Oh, you know what? I shouldn't have curved that. Right, that was supposed to be an angle. So big choice, big choice. This goes to there, that goes to there, making the same thicknesses. Oops. Miss Copera, you're getting sloppy with your graffiti. Don't worry, like we can white out things. We do have white out for this unit somewhere in the room. Not like super proud of this C, but let me see if I can make it fancy with my little going to the vanishing point. Uh-oh, look at me. I am not using a pencil. Okay, so this line parallel with that, going towards the vanishing point. secret to drawing is to just keep working at it. Hatching, 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 hatching. Hatching, 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 hatching. This line's going to be thicker over here. Notice how different, this is like a point where it changes. Where does it change? Where does it change? And then I'm going to give it that edge. It changes here. Changes here. I'm thinking like line direction. Oh! So we probably wouldn't see this shadow. It would probably go down, right? Because the vanishing point's here. My dad taught me block letters when I was little, putting in shadows. You're just picking like one side of the letter, or two sides of the letter do shadow. So in this case, it's the bottom and the left, right? Going to the vanishing point, that's kind of like something that's super fancy, right? But then we're connecting back to the other unit. So all of my lines are basically going to a point, right? And if you have your markers, you know, you could play with different kinds of strokes going in the direction, right? You want to also change the strokes of your markers. This is not required, but maybe you want like a preview of how to add color. Right, and then I have this 77, so that was 76. And now I'm going to try to blend with 77. That kind of looks cool. Blending the two colors together because those numbers are similar. But notice how I'm changing the direction of my strokes. Okay, went for color there. A, B, C. I think I deserve a sip of coffee now. Can I get through the alphabet? I really don't know. Okay. Step 1. Box. D. Step 2, right? You're going to put in your points. D should be simple, right? It should be actually like straight, but we're going to make it fancy because it's graffiti. You can do any font, really. You carve any font out of a box. Just type graffiti letters. Okay, I got to make a choice. Just kind of like mindlessly spacing out. So these are the points of my box. I'm going to just curve it in. I'm trying to model not being so sketchy. Curve. Maybe I want to do more of a curve for this one, but also thinking in angles. So curve, angles. I mean, I think like, just thinking about it like, hiya, hiya, like you're cutting off. And then always maintaining the same thickness, I think, is important. And having it look cool. Okay, look, my angle's here. So I'm going to cut like there. Chuck, chuck, chuck. See, I'm looking for my points that I picked. And I'm trying to be with consistent thickness. Does that look like graffiti? I don't know. Looks like a basic D to me. But these graffiti Ds look basic. Maybe I'll add a line or like a little thing coming in. These are kind of boring. It's okay. Okay, but I can make it fancy with my vanishing point. Not required, but there is a grade for like challenge. So going towards the line. What way am I going? Make a bold choice. Going towards the vanishing point. All going towards this point. So I'm finding points wherever this dot can see, right? The dot can't see over there, right? But I could draw a line right here, right here. Like, so you're figuring out a place to put a shadow, like on the bottom. Maybe you're going to put the bottom towards a point. Okay, I don't feel like doing pen with this one. Okay, A, B, C, D, sip of coffee. Okay, here we go. You could work in Sharpie and pen mark later. Okay, E. Do your box. Okay, now these E's are interesting, right? So like, let's like make it a little bit more like it's not like a boxy E. So I'm gonna shave the E so it's leaning this way. Right, so I'm tilting the E in the box. So maybe I could have done like a tilty box, I assume. Right. I'm looking at this one E. Maybe I want to do something crazy and cut it. And then maybe I'm going to add a curve at the bottom, like it's swinging up. And then maybe it's doing this. And then it's because it's swinging up here. Go crazy. Miss Compares a tagger. No, just kidding. I don't even know what that is. My pencil's getting dull. I'm gonna keep working. I'm gonna make it fancy with the vanishing point. So this dot would go here. So then darken the value, heavy line weight. So I'm basically doing a parallel line all the way down. Vanishing point helps me to figure out the angle. So all my shadow for this one's going on the left. So this is built-in differentiation, right? Because you don't have to do the drop shadow. Or maybe you want to make your E more boxy. Okay, this point can see the vanishing point. So all my shadows are on the left and the bottom, left and the bottom. This point can see the vanishing point towards the point. Notice how I'm not using a ruler, parallel line. Oh, I like this one more. Right. And when you're working in your Sharpie or pen, oops, you're going to have those long complemented line or confident lines. You're not going to trip if it doesn't go the way you want. But notice how I'm not doing these sketchy lines. I'm just going for it, Hiya! Hiya! We're not getting all nervous. We're just making a bold choice. Okay. And then maybe I want to further support this with some hatches. Complete this line. I don't think I'm going to get through this alphabet before I need to go. I would color them all, but... Right. Let's do F. I'm still looking. Just want to point out, this whole time I'm looking at my AKA packet, right? And I'm looking this. I cannot get into this. Okay, but look, like I'm not drawing without having this. I just want to point out to y'all. A, B, C, D, E, F. Can I do F and G at the end? I think so. I'm going to make my F a little smaller. Okay, step 2, do a box. Or step 1, I mean, do a box. Bringing my light down. Okay. I'm looking at my top alphabet for this one. I'm going to try something a little different. Okay, so F goes to there, but let's make it a little bit of a fancy end. A lot of letters are basic, right? Like if you were to just do a basic F, you could kind of be like, okay, you got a dot in the middle, dot in the middle, dot in the middle. But then you're just going to carve off some sides. Be like, oh, hiya. Or I'm going to make this a little bit more curvy. right? So you're taking like the basicness and you're just like curving it. Maybe you'll make it go a little bit more to the side, but then have the end go out. I'm just going to go for it with the Sharpie, making sure it's the same amount of thickness. And then here's my point. Curving the same direction. Maybe I want to stay consistent. Curve this here. And then curve up. F. So like I bend it. I'm bending it. Right, adding in that drop shadow if you want. So let's add the shadows to the left side, going to the vanishing point. It's my vanishing point on camera. Sorry, I got quiet. I'm adding in cross hatching. I wasn't even thinking about it, but I really want to darken those edges. Okay, so like the E, I would see the bottom of the F. So I'm going to add those lines that are going to the point. Notice how I'm not worrying about it being all perfect. Right, like the worry of perfection gets us. I would see the bottom of the F. So I'm just doing a parallel line with this line. Like I'm copying this line. Like this line's bending, so I'm copying. This line's bending, so I'm copying. Okay. Let's throw in a G. Oh my gosh, my reference photos keep going off. Don't draw without your reference photos. Don't go to the bathroom. It's driving me crazy. It keeps turning off. I don't like any of the G's in this alphabet because it's like, it doesn't even look like a G. So let's fix that. Okay. I mean, you know, your letters don't have to look like the letters, but I think for this project, you want people to be able to read it. So let's just start with a basic G. So again, oops, I'm off camera. So you have your box, you go dot, dot, dot. Like, where are my main points? And then this is my end, because the G is basically a C with like that fancy part going in. And then you're going to take away the same amount of thickness, right? So I'm going to make it real basic at first. Now I need space for it to go in. Maybe that's why they don't look like G's, because these graffiti art letters are so fat, they don't have room to have this part going in. But you kind of need it. Okay, now I'll put in the angles. Now that I know I have space for the G to breathe. And then I'm going to start cutting away, making it fancy. Does that look like a G? You guys are like, no. Okay. I'm looking at my reference photos. Angle, 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 angle. Gosh, I thought this would be easy, but I'm starting to get tired. I don't know if I like my G. Maybe I need to emphasize this middle part more, so it looks like a G. Okay. Let's add in our fanciness, right? So going to the vanishing point, maybe I'll like my G more. So I'm going to those points where I cut, where I changed. Can hardly see the point up here, but it's there. Okay, so I'm going left, left. So this is the left side of the letter. And this is where we have the fancy stuff where we can make it more fun, I think, in the shadows. So like this G bends behind that. That's fine. I'm not gonna. So maybe I can make this look more like a G by like really like emphasizing this part through the shadow with a lot of activity, a lot of lines. G? No? G? G? Is that a G? What is a G? Hey, G. Gee whiz. See? G. Do they look different? I think so. Because we really took the time to make it bend in. All right. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Yeah, I'm going to have to go in this middle column. L, M, N, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'm not going to be able to fit them all on one page. So I'm going to do 2 pages. Okay, let's do L. Or wait, A, B, C, D, H, H. I know the alphabet, I swear. Okay, so I'm going to go on the bottom. H. Looking at my reference photo. Okay, let's have some fun with the H. So I'm going to shave away, right? So in the middle, I find the middle, right? I have this one line at the side. And let's start with like basic blockness. Okay, now how can we make it fancy? So maybe I'm gonna make it fancy by bending it in. And shaving it this way. Maybe I'm gonna bend it up, bend up the letters and give it a crazy angle. Go crazy. So it's like you have your block and then you make it fancy. Add these little tops on the end. Oh, I don't know if I like this. I'm just gonna go with it because I only have so much time. Maybe I want to bend it in this way. No, I already decided to bend it in this way. So I'm going to make a bold choice with my marker, always bending it consistently. But I had decided to make it curve. My line work was a little confusing. Cha, cha, cha. I feel like my graffiti letters are getting kind of boxy. But I'm just thinking about the kids who are going to be like, what? I can't do that. Right, so how do we like simplify it, but also keep it graffiti-y? Okay, do I still have that point? I'm going to do, my pencils are getting dull, so I'm going to do pen for the shadow. Going towards a vanishing point. Gonna have a similar line. up towards the vanishing point, always staying consistent where your shadow is. So now all my shadows are on the right. You can use shading techniques with pens on graffiti letters. Just make your angle, oops, I'm off camera. Make your angles really sharp. And then if this line is curved, curve that line. I'm running short on time, guys. My kids are gonna wake up soon. So now I'm kind of like in a rush. Notice how I haven't erased A, B, C, D, E, H, I. Okay, a lot of these I's have dots. Like graffiti artists like doing lowercase letters, so this one should be fun. I'm still going to make my dot for the I, but my I is skinny, right? All these I's are skinny. And then I'll just make it fancy. It seems like we do something fancy with the top, and then we have a dot, right? And then we're kind of like taking the box and we're making it all crazy. A, B, C, D, H. Did I skip a letter? I, J. Make a bold choice. Make a bold choice. Do you want to go fancy and up it? Go to your vanishing point. Line to the vanishing point. I, A, B, C, D, H, I, J. Let's do a J with a top. So you start by making a box, right? And then kind of like with a really light line, I'm going to kind of put in my dots for my J, like where are the important parts, dot, dot. Maybe I'm going to make the line skinny in the middle, right? So this is going to be my point, and then a lot of these letters, it looks like the J butt comes out, right? So it curves around, right? I'm going to do angles up. Okay, where are the important parts for my J? You really want it to swing around. So maybe it gets skinny here. So you don't always need to maintain the same thickness, right? So maybe it's going to go skinny to thick. Right? And it's just, sometimes you're just like, oh, playing around, be like, okay, I like this. Right? And then you, with your marker, bold choice, bold choice, bold choice, bold choice, big line, big line. Cha-cha, cha-cha. All right. Do you want to go fancy and add in those lines to the vanishing point or put in a shadow? Again, picking one side. My lines are going to the vanishing point. 1 point perspective. I think that's it. Oh, no, wait. This side would see it. The point allows me to be consistent with my choices. Like, it kind of keeps me on check. You guys are like, oh, that's too much work, but it'll look cool if you stay consistent. You can do this with a pen, like just a basic ballpoint pen. That looks a little weird, but all my hatches are going to the vanishing point, really darkening that, really darkening the big edges. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, K for Copera. What? Okay, so start with a box. I'm like not drinking my coffee. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. It's early in the morning. My kids aren't awake. But they will be, and then this video will suddenly end. Okay, so how thick do I want my letters to be? Are they going to go thin to thick? Like some of these letters? Okay, where's the dot for my K? Where are my main points? Like, where's my eye going? So I'm kind of like putting in dots at first as I'm carving out my letters. Maybe I want my K to bend and then bend down. Because I'm looking at my reference, putting in these dots, carving. Okay, so this needs to be the same amount of thickness, dropping it down. Maybe I want my K to, yeah, all these Ks are kind of like bending out. So if it's going to bend out on this side, it's probably going to bend out there. Maybe though it'll be skinnier here. I feel like I'm taking too long doing this part. I don't know if I like this K. It's like unconfident. Maybe I can make it more confident with my line work. Cha, cha, cha. Okay, same thickness, so I'm gonna curve it. But gotta get that angle that it's going out if it's gonna look like a K. Cha. Yeah, so I took out the curve because I don't want it to look like an H. Giving it a little bit of a twist. So I'm thinking in dots. Same curve. Got to get this strong angle. Chop. Maybe it becomes a curve. Down. Maybe I'm going to give it like a fancy thing at the end. Is that a K? Oops. I lost my vanishing point. Where's my vanishing point? It's right here. Okay, so we're bending parallel. And there's like no wrong or right way to do graffiti letters. But so this is going to be for your slogan. And your slogan's going to be your positive issue. I am not talking. I should be talking. This line is not going to the vanishing point. Spacing out. Okay, I'm not going to obsess about this because it's getting confusing over here and I need to eat breakfast. Okay, so this corner, believe it or not, would have a shadow. I got to make this a stronger choice, clarify that relationship. And that's what I'm talking about, basic drawing. Because I have so many like fancy things, I'm adding so many fancy shadows there. Okay, I'm going to stop with the K. A, B, C, D, E, G, K. H, I, J, K, L. L should go fast. My pencils are all dull. So again, make a box for your L. Let's make the L curly. A, B, C, D, E, H, I, J, K, L. Oh, I can hear a kid. The video is about to end. We try our best, and then that's it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. Okay, so, right, I'm looking at these L's and they're curvy, right? So I'm going to add a bit more of a curve, but I still want it to look like an L. So they're like fat at the bottom and they have these curves. They go skinny to thick. Okay. Now I'm gonna make my choice about my angles. Hopefully you understand the process. Up, curve around. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Big angles. Going from dot to dot. Confident letter. Here we go. L L L. These M's are crazy. I'm looking ahead at the M's. Okay, adding in a shadow. Pick. Oh, there goes my dog again. Guys, I may have to end this video because of my dog. Oh, seriously? The dog's gonna end the video? Oh no. Dog needs to go out. Yeah, I gotta go, guys. Sucks. Okay, that's how far I got. I'll see if I can get back to it. Okay, I did half the alphabet.